පේන්ට් කරන්න සහාය අවශ්‍යද? පේන්ටි TC ගයිඩ් එකක් නොමිලේම ලබා ගන්න මිස් කෝල් එකක් විතරක්ම දෙන්න.
An event to brief the North Port development of Colombo Port was held in Colombo this evening under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The Port of Colombo now handling 7 million TEUs a year. Our intention and our vision is that with the present development going on in the port to increase it to 1.5 million TEUs a year. SLPA signed an agreement, investment agreement with China merchants and Sri Lankan entrepreneur to establish Art of Center, logistics center in the Port of Colombo at the cost of $400 million. I am happy to say that government was able to attract this investment. This has been hanging over for last 5 years. The concept of North Port development was germinated in the mind of His Excellency Ranil Wickremesinghe at that time. You foresaw that at certain point our port will become saturated. So how to cater for the demand that will be created in the world and in the maritime industry? So the idea of the North Port development is that we can't shift to the south. My persistent view is that this port must be a privately managed port. But of course, the Port Authority should be a regulator and an investor. I am happy to note that I was briefed by the consultants appointed by the ADB that this project is financially viable, technically feasible to make Sri Lanka a giant in the maritime industry as well as to rebuild the Sri Lankan economy. Certainly, North Port development will help us a lot.
This ministry is now called the Ministry of Shipping and Aviation. Some people have asked me, why don't we split and have two ministries, one for shipping and one for aviation? And I said, no, our intention is to make Sri Lanka an ARC hub. So we will have one Ministry of Shipping and Aviation. Sri Lanka has to think of the future. What we will do in the next 25 years. How are we going ahead to make this a developed country? We have to look at the developments in India, in Bangladesh, in Iran, the total Makaran coast, in assessing the role that Sri Lanka has to play as a hub. That is important. In the next 25 years, there will be vast developments on the Bay of Bengal, both on the Indian side, the Bangladeshi side, Malaysia, and even Myanmar. So we have to look at the Trincomalee port, also its capacity to be a point for cruise tourism in the Bay of Bengal. In Hambantota, at the moment, we have the port functioning, not at its full capacity, but the developments in Hambantota in the next 10-15 years, where about 4,000 acres will be set aside just for India manufacturing, and the fact that there's going to be at least one refinery means that the activities there will increase. We have the airports which we are developing, Katunayaka Airport which has to be further developed, Mattal Airport which has to be commercially viable. Then with those two airports, we've just opened up Palali and developed Hinguragoda as the main domestic airport for the eastern region and the north central province. So within this, it's a role that the North Port has to play. We have to remember one thing only, that what is going to take place in India, what's the development in Pakistan, and what's the development going to be in Iran. Those three will decide the capacity. Sri Lanka's advantage is the port we have. We have to make whatever adjustments we do now to ensure that Sri Lanka becomes the hub of the Indian Ocean. We can do it.